Yellow what? That here? I don't see yellow seed here. Yeah, I see it. Okay guys, so today I'm in the Rama 9 Park here in Bangkok, which is super gorgeous, and we can finally go out again. And I brought my iPad along so I can sketch in the park. So let's do that. Ow. This park is just way too gorgeous to not try like every single beautiful spot here. And there's no way to go to the beach right now, so this is the next best thing, guys. Like, I mean, come on, you know, how beautiful is that? Oh, so guys, now I found my perfect spot here by the lake, the last bit of sunshine. The Rama 9 Park is just so gorgeous. And today I want to show you how to sketch a face. And it's not like a definite guide or anything, but it's kind of like a little system that I use to get the proportion the way that I want. And the little pagoda in the background is the perfect inspiration now for me to start sketching. So let's open the Procreate app and create a new A4 document by pressing on the new canvas plus button. So we want to start with the HB pencil in a dark color and lay out some help lines first. So let's start with a vertical that will be our center front, and I like to put it in the top part of the paper so there's some space towards the bottom for a neck. And if you hold, you create a straight line. So let's block off the chin and the top of the head there and place an eye level pretty much in the center of the line, a little bit lower actually for a baby face effect. So now we want to block the sides of this eye level, and we draw lines down approximately towards the middle of the lower half there, if you can see that. And they're becoming narrow. And the top part we want to curve. It's a pretty round shape, but the lower part now we're going a little bit more kind of like a jawline there. So it's actually the two lines, and then we mark the middle, and that should be the nose level, and it should be also kind of where the jaw has its little curve. And then the lowest part of the face now, split that in half again, then it is, and this is approximately the mouth level. So now between the nose and the eye level, this is where we want to place ears. And look at me, the ears are basically like three little curves, and we will add some details to that later. So now let's have a look at the eyes, and to get a better baby face effect I actually lower them a little bit more there, and now I'm marking the center of each half. So this is a kind of good idea for the eyes, and I'm making an approximate little almond shape, so don't overdraw them. And now let's move to the nose, which is on that nose level, and let's start with the nostrils, and I've also indicated a little button nose there. And now let's move to the lips. I usually like to start with the top part there, the Cupid's bow, and work myself down. So I want to make the nose a little bit nicer, and now draw the nose bridge there. Nice and thin, and it's going a bit higher than the eyes. And now let's do some cheekbones there from the middle of the ear towards the corner of the mouth, kind of connecting the dots a little bit to make the bone structure more visible. Now let's make some more details around the eyes and make the eyelids nicer and kind of an eyeliner, and also like the curves that the eyes have. There's still not really a pupil going on and an iris or anything, so I'm leaving it like this. So let's make some help lines for the eyebrows. It's very beauty tutorial for the ladies in the audience. You know kind of how to do it, I guess. Actually, watching tons of makeup and beauty tutorials has been very, very helpful for me. So now let's go for the contouring a bit more there. If you know what I'm talking about, like maybe you can see that. So I've added this
to the forehead. And now I'm also lifting the cheekbones a bit and kind of connecting them to the nose. And now let's do a neck. So the neck should start kind of there under the jawline curve, but it has to become narrower towards the neckline, towards the body. So a quick shoulder there. And now let's move over to the eraser tool and start cleaning up our lines with a small brush size. I always like to draw lots of guidelines and helper lines, and then I take the time to clean it all up and keep the good ones. And now I can really work out the bone structure, and at the same time I know that these lines point into like the right direction. For me it's important that it's all sort of connected and organic, so it just feels nicer. And I want to now also redraw the lines and kind of add a little bit of depth and detail. So I've added detail to the ears, a bit of like inner workings there with this bubble and two lines, and I'm cleaning up the eyes. I'm making the curves nicer. I'm making the eyelids a little bit lighter. So now I want to create a new layer and continue on that one. It's good to every now and then add a layer, so it's easier to go back if you don't like it. And I'm also choosing HB pencil, and the first thing there at neck muscle. And now I want to go straight for hairstyle. And it's a very simple like brush back middle parting, and I'm also adding kind of these sections to it. Now let's do some eyebrows, and I really like my contouring curve and I use it as an inspiration and give them a nice shape. Now throw in some eyes there and details for the lips and the nose to make it all a bit nicer and give it even more depth. I'm pretty much confident now, and I want to add yet another layer and choose a brush to add some color. And I want to go for this wet glaze in a pink. It's a bit too big, so smaller size, and let's work out the contouring there. So the bridge of the nose, the sides of the face, a little bit under the hair there. We have all our kind of guidelines, so let's use them. And let's do a little bit of shading at the neck as well, and I kind of reinforce the darkest parts. And I still have tons of white space as well, so I have to take care of that soon. I want to kind of work in several sort of coats here, so I'm adding. And sometimes it's also interesting to play with different colors. So let's go for this pink, maybe a little bit too pink, so let's make it more peachy and just give it another good coat there. Let's check saturation and hue to get the best tone. And now I also want to throw in some green. Why green? It actually makes it look interesting. It bounces off, and at the same time it looks like our blood under our skin. So now let's move to a white brush and make it a bit smaller, and I also use an acrylic now for kind of a different texture, and I want to highlight. So things that protrude the most, like kind of the tip of the face, has to stick out. And now let's throw in some rouge, some blush basically to bounce off that green. And for this one I've also chosen another brush, and this brush is really cool. It has like a texture, so I want to use that for some highlighting as well. So I'm trying a lip here, but actually I will get rid of it again. I didn't like it. But that's the magic of Procreate. We can play around and at the same time throw in more details. Let's do an eye makeup there. I'm going for a kind of minty green, and I'm working in all sorts of green tones to make it quite interesting. And now I'm smoking it over and also adding this kind of classic shading to the eyeballs there, darker on top, basically under the highlight, and a bit more highlights all around the eyes as well to make them pop. I'm really liking the face now, but I didn't like the lips, so I kind of reversed that, and now I'm throwing in some eyelashes. I'm choosing a kind of darker brownish tone now to kind of work the lips out. It's really a step-by-step thing. Now I'm throwing in some shadows into the hair to give it a bit of volume and to work these kind of partitions a little bit out. I don't want to focus too much on the hair. Now, I'm actually now deleting the wireframe partially underneath because I want to redraw it and I wanted to brighten up the eyes. There were so many lines there, and I'm also narrowing down everything a little bit more, even a narrow chin, and just redrawing the details, revisiting the details. So this is also like with an eye. Typically, I don't really like to draw like an iris and an eyeball into the eyes. I like to leave it white, so you will see what I will do. I'm also like making the lines thicker. It's really important to kind of play with the line thickness, to add dimension into everything, to give it depth and to make the lines very nice and organic. So now I want to lighten up the eyes. Sometimes it's cool to give them this glassy, very shiny effect, but what I really like is almost no eyes. It's very creepy, but it is quite interesting sort of to bounce off cuteness, like add the creepy factor. And yeah, little final touches here and there. And the face is pretty much what I wanted it to be. And I could easily now, for example, place it on one of my croquis. So guys, I'm getting eaten up by mosquitoes. This evening is coming to an end. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you could take something away from it. And yeah, always my pleasure.
Anyway guys, so I'm done for today. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial and I hope it was something that you want to try too and gave you a little bit of help. So please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and leave some comments. Bye guys. But I want to know, I'm not sure if this light was nice.